It was the summer of 2016 when we first welcomed new WBOC anchors Todd and Jacqueline Karli to historic Studio D. It was our way of welcoming them to Delmarva and getting to know them. After all, they had just moved from the West Coast to Delmarva to become a part of the Draper Media family.
9 years later, it's time to say goodbye. The Karlis are closing the book on their 40-year broadcasting career and heading back to California, but not before they visit us again here at historic Studio D. Thank you guys for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having us.
You.
Who are those children you just had?
Right?
9 years.
It's been
goes
so
fast.
wonderful to have you. So my first question is why?
Why are you leaving us?
Where are you going?
Well, 40 years.
Yeah, that's probably long
It's a
enough.
long time.
Our son is graduating college in California
In June.
next month, a couple of weeks in fact, and he's going to stay there and work.
Okay.
And our daughter is going to college in California,
Oh, wow.
in Santa Barbara. So,
And his family is still
Yeah, my family's
Los
in
Angeles.
Los
I
Angeles,
still have
so-
family out there. And you know, it gets to a point you start losing people and you think you need to be back around family before, you can't. So it's the right time to do it and explore some new things, and
So back to California.
back to California we go.
crazy as it is.
Yeah.
So 9 years. Let's go back to when you first moved here from the West Coast. Can you talk a little bit about what was the biggest culture shock that you encountered with that move?
Besides the weather.
Oh, yeah.
But I will say, when we first moved here, though, it was June, and I remember, and coming from California, where it was very hot, and dry where we lived.
Right.
I opened my kitchen window the first morning. I walked out to the kitchen, and it was green, and there were birds singing and flowers, and I saw a bunny, and I was like, Snow White. It was just magical, and the clouds, and it was in the clean air, and I thought, oh, it was just spectacular.
I sat in our backyard for 15 minutes last night just before sunset thinking, boy, I'm really going to miss this.
It's just so pretty.
so green and so pretty.
So
Yeah.
you mentioned the kids.
Yes.
What was it like for them to grow up here?
I think they had two distinctly different experiences. Our son was just going into high school, so that was probably a more difficult transition.
Yeah.
Our daughter started at Buckingham Elementary, so she did grow up here, and so she went through. And I want to get this in before I forget anything. We got to do a big shout out to Worcester County Public Schools, because it has been a fantastic educational experience, especially for Worcester Tech. Both our kids went through Worcester Tech. Our son in pre-engineering and our daughter in the biomed program. And I can't say enough about it. It really has set the stage for them. So I want to make sure that got out there. But
Yeah, I don't think they'd be going to the colleges that they are and have been going without
especially our son.
education down there.
Yeah, he has a degree in he'll have a degree in architecture, which was his dream, and the pre-engineering program really set him up, and the wonderful women who lead that program. So I want to give a shout out.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we talked about 40 years in broadcasting. Obviously, not together as a couple those 40 years, but how has most of them? How has that journey shaped you as a couple?
Well, we've said even moving here has brought us closer together because it's just been the five of us, son, daughter, us, and her mom is with us.
Yeah.
So, you go from knowing something for 20, 30 years where we were in California to just being here. So I think the whole family's been
It's
brought closer
us,
together.
yes, definitely brought us together. And the job itself, people always ask, how can you work with your spouse? They couldn't imagine doing it.
Right.
Well, I think it's just because we rarely argue, and we're fairly independent in what we do, and so I think that's what's brought us through the whole thing. We still find each other interesting to talk to, and we don't take it home. That's the secret. You never take your job home, and then you can keep it separate, and it's good.
And we've been, 27 years anchoring together, I think.
And we've been married 29.
Yeah.
So
Well, congratulations on that too.
thank you.
Thank you.
So is there a moment? Is there an event? Is there an occasion? Is there something that speaks to you both that kind of symbolizes your experience here?
Well, you could have prepped us with these questions
No,
ahead of time.
absolutely not. We don't do that. We want to watch you think.
Wow, there are. The whole first. I think coming to. I don't want to. Did you have any?
Well, go ahead. You've got a thought.
I was going to say, just coming. This area is so different from where we came from. So everything was an experience. The Snow Hill. What's the combine?
right?
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah. Blessing of the Combines.
Yes, that one. Everything in Berlin. We live in Berlin.
Right.
All the town events. I remember when they shut down Main Street for the Little League, start of Little League, and our daughter was in Little League, and I thought, oh my gosh, they have a parade and they make a big deal out of this.
Yeah.
This just didn't happen where we came from, and it was like living in Mayberry a little bit. It was just really wonderful, and I know that's something our daughter will take with her.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned that. That was the first thing I thought of was the parade in Berlin. It's so charmingly small town,
Yeah.
kind of East Coast, and we thought, boy, this is really cool.
It's like all towns on the East Coast must do this sort of thing. But it's like I know that's unique to Berlin, certainly.
So finally, if there's one final message you could leave to your Delmarva viewers, with your Delmarva viewers, what would it be?
Well, to me, the people are exceedingly nice here and courteous and kind of proper. There's, again, not to go coast to coast, but when you come from the West Coast, it's a little different. And I've always been enamored with how nice people are, very proper, you know, very
Did it seem
respectful.
fake at first?
No, not at all.
No. I noticed that even when I started making phone calls as a journalist here, and people were receptive to, at the time anyway, to journalists, and it was wonderful. It was like they were very polite, and just in the stores, all the hundreds of people who've come up and just, and you know, where we came from, this is not a knock on where we came from, but you never knew what message you were going to get as in the media. And every person here has always been very kind and want to get, you know, tell their story a little bit, take a picture. It's wonderful.
And even the people we work with, even the young people, you know, right out of college, very respectful, very mature. It's really
very talented.
Caught my attention pretty early. Yeah, that was pretty telling.
That's terrific.
Well, I think I speak for everyone when I say you are truly going to be missed here.
Yeah, you
on
don't have to go.
Delmarva.
You can stay. It's all right.
I'm just saying.
Thank you.
Rethink this.
Well, we sold our house, so we'll have to come live with you guys.
You take 1 week, I'll take the next.
Alternate, yeah. Thank you guys.
For everything.
Thank you,
It's been
yes.
wonderful.
Thank you.
And good luck.
It's been a pleasure
Good luck,
working with you.
yes.